Elon Musk has been feuding with the House Republicans who, of course, passed Trump's big, beautiful bill. And Musk has kind of framed this argument as, look, I really care about government waste, and this is just adding to the federal debt, which is true. He's correct about that. But there's a part of his problem with the bill that he's not really being upfront about, and I want to kind of get into that because according to Axios reporter Mark Caputo, who spoke to two people in frequent communication with both, Musk has attacked Trump's bill after becoming irritated over 4 inflection points. Okay, so
here we go.
What are those inflection points? Well, they reportedly included Musk's inability to continue serving in his position as a special government employee beyond the imposed time limit.
Oh, so he did catch feelings about not being able to lead Doge. Okay, wow.
So there's more. So he wanted to stay there, but I guess Trump didn't make that happen. The Trump administration's refusal to run air traffic control systems from Musk's satellite internet company Starlink.
Oh,
another inflection
you didn't get
point.
the bribe you wanted. But I'll tell you what, this is silver lining is a little bit of credit to Trump not giving the donor what he wanted.
There's 2 sides to every story, and true, right? If this is accurate, true. Let me give you more. So Trump's decision to withdraw his nomination of Musk's ally Jared Isaacman to serve as NASA administrator, and tax credits for electric vehicles being cut from the bill, a blow to Musk's company Tesla, which has already suffered as a result of the billionaire's participation in the Trump administration.
And why does he care so much about the NASA administrator? Because he has SpaceX and Starlink. So if he puts his boy into NASA, he'll be getting a lot more contracts from the government, like worth billions upon billions, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars. And so then that'll be a good return on his investment of about 300 million that he put into Trump. So here, now we covered the story earlier and we told you, be careful. Remember, even though Elon is correct in saying this does add 4 trillion to the debt, he could have ulterior motives, and we measured the tax credits, and now we have the 3 other reasons.
Right, and I am now fully convinced that anyone who claims that they have an issue with something the government is doing because of debt is lying. There's always an ulterior motive. And in this case, Elon Musk didn't get all the cookies he wanted from his daddy Trump, who he bribed. To Trump's credit, I mean, he's easy to bribe, but apparently even he has his limits.
No, I'll give you a super ironic credit to Donald Trump on that. But first, credit to me.
Okay, of course. How dare we even consider credit for anyone else before first giving you credit?
Okay, the only person that actually cares about the deficit is me.
Right.
Okay, like it's in all politics, I've never seen like sometimes the progressive side says, oh, deficits don't matter. Dick Cheney said deficits don't matter. Republicans go-to move is deficits, and then they get into office and add way more than the Democrats do because they give away trillions in tax cuts. But we have been consistent, kidding aside. Young Turks has been consistent on this for 20 straight years, right? Deficits do matter. The Pentagon is bloated. There is tons of pork barrel projects you could cut, not from cancer research, but actual graft from donors, right? That to give the pork to the donors. And yes, stop giving the rich and corporations tax cuts. Okay, now credit to Trump, fair show in America. So this is an ironic credit. He always screws over his creditors, always. He went bankrupt 6 times.
That's a weird thing to get credit
No, I'm like, so I know, but listen, here's the upsides of it, okay? So, and every time he had this major bankruptcy and they'd say, oh my God, you didn't pay any of your debts back. He's like, yeah, that's good business. I take their money and then I don't pay them back. He's amazing. He doesn't care about other human beings at all, right? So that's a huge advantage, right? That way you could just keep taking from people. And he uses celebrity and marketing to keep getting new loans. Now, when he's the president, the ironic upside of that is Elon Musk gives him $300 million and then he expects billions back from NASA and et cetera. And Trump's like, what do you mean? I already got your money, sucker.
I gave you some cookies, but not all the cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Sheldon and Miriam Adelson gave him even more, $337 million over 3 election cycles. And they're like, okay, now you do exactly as Israel orders you. You go bomb Iran. And he's like, Yeah, except I already got your money. So, and Qatar just gave me a jet and made a $2 billion deal with my knucklehead son, okay? So, sorry.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that the fact that he screws over his creditors every single time.
Credit where credit is due.
Hey, fair is shown America, because if he's screwing over his donors and not delivering for them, that's wonderful.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
That, you see what I'm saying?
I mean, I love the donor part, the creditor part.
No, the creditor part's terrible,
That's
of course.
bad.
But the fact that he's carried that over and screwing over his own donors, no politician does that.
Right.
Right? So
yeah, I guess
because Bernie
Bernie
doesn't even take the donor money. So, and the Just Democrats don't take the donor money. So there's nobody to screw over.
Right.
So
yeah, so I guess Trump took it to the next level. I'll take the money and give you some of what you want in return, but not everything.
Yeah,
not everything.
Don't get me wrong. He gives them tax cuts.
Yeah.
Last time he was in office, giant tax cuts for the rich. Gives a bunch to his donors, but you got to keep the bribes coming. And if you don't keep them coming, sorry, but that was yesterday. And today, all of your priorities are out of the big beautiful bill, and now you're crying.
Yeah. All right, one more story before we wrap up and go to bonus episode for Operation Joy.
Very much authority to get everything done I need to do. There's somewhere south of 20% that decide that they are going to get in the way of change. You can ask anybody that those 20% of the people are a problem. And they have to be sidelined. So don't get in my way. If you're those 20% of the people, I will run right over you.
That was David Richardson. Yeah, Richardson. He's the new head of FEMA, and he looks mad. He looks like a mad guy. All right, look at that picture. Why are you so mad? Why don't you smile more, bro? What's going on? Anyway, he's making headlines. In fact, he made headlines about a month after warning his staff to not get in his way, and now he's making headlines because of the, I don't know if I believe this. Allegedly, he claimed that he didn't know that hurricane season is a thing. How do you not know? I live in California. Hurricanes don't happen in California. I know hurricane seasons are a thing. I don't believe that he doesn't know.
So I don't know, we're asking in a poll in the live chat show 6 to 8 Eastern, Monday through Friday, be part of the show, whether you think he's serious or joking. But on face alone, I don't think that guy ever jokes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, Cenk. That's a really good piece of evidence. Look at that photo.
And look at the angry speech. I'll run you over. Like,
yeah, that guy doesn't have a sense of humor at all.
Yeah, so you've seen me angry once or twice on the internet, right? So it's not like I don't know how to be angry, but then I also know how to joke around, right? And that guy looks like he's never joked in his life.
Okay, you know what? I like to be with the in crowd, and since the audience is saying that he was being serious, I agree with you, he was being serious. He doesn't know that hurricane season exists, which is insane. He is the current head of FEMA under the Trump administration, even though he hasn't been confirmed for the role. Now, according to 4 sources who spoke to Reuters, Richardson made the remark during an all-hands briefing this week. All-hands meetings usually go very smoothly and everyone's usually happy afterwards. Now, hundreds of FEMA staffers and interagency partners were present, and staff was unclear as to whether or not he was joking. So the Department of Homeland Security has responded to the report by saying, obviously, he was joking. Here's their statement. Despite mean-spirited attempts to falsely frame a joke as policy, there is no uncertainty about what FEMA will be doing this hurricane season. FEMA is laser focused on disaster response and protecting the American people. FEMA under Richardson is activated in preparation for hurricane season. However, Richardson's comment purporting ignorance about hurricane season spread among agency staff, spurring confusion and reigniting concern about his lack of familiarity with FEMA's operations, said 3 sources. And look, I do think that this is potentially an issue. He has absolutely 0 disaster response experience, which seems like you should have if you're gonna be the head of FEMA. But he was previously the assistant secretary for the Department of Homeland Security's Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction Office, and also served as a ground combat officer in the Marine Corps. So
Yeah, no, he has some experience now because he created an emergency and now he's got to manage it. Okay, but look, guys, putting the speculation aside about whether he was kidding or not, they were looking to cut FEMA funding.
Exactly, yeah.
So, and these are the guys who complain, oh my God, Biden's FEMA isn't giving to Trump supporters in North Carolina. So let's cut FEMA so you get less help. And we've had members write in all over, tornadoes, this, that, the other thing. And in their experience, FEMA was very slow to respond because I don't know whether it's this brother has no experience in it, doesn't care about it, or because they're looking to cut, and they don't really care about you. That's the important part.
Yeah, so according to a source who spoke with Reuters, the back and forth on updating the agency's disaster plan and a lack of clear strategic guidance happen to be some issues under his leadership. And yeah, we should be concerned, especially as these natural disasters happen more frequently, with more intensity. Not good.
Yeah, and remember, I mean, you want to talk about serious or not serious, Donald Trump is the guy who drew with a Sharpie the path of a hurricane because he lied about it. So he changed the path of the hurricane on the map that he showed the country.
Yeah.
And people got panicked because they thought they were in a hurricane zone when they weren't. And Trump thought, who cares if they're all panicking and they're all worried about that they're gonna die?
Keeping people on their toes, you know?
Yeah, it's more important that I be right. So give me a Sharpie. Okay, no, weather people, get out of here. The hurricane's now going this way. I mean, bunch of goofballs. Do they care to make sure that you're okay in an emergency? Of course not. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.